Oh, I almost did the worst thing in the world. Probably would have been great for a lot of people. I was on mute, but I stopped myself just in time. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to episode 3 of the Livestream Leap, courtesy of the globe's leading professional streaming provider, OneStream Live. And this one is a cracker. Why? Because we've got some cracking people on the show. And I'm not talking about me. If you've ever wondered how live streaming actually makes money, well, this is your episode. And it ain't all about making money. It's about turning up. It's about being present. It's about building relationships, about all those nice, simple things. If you just focus on the money, I go against what I wrote tonight, actually. But if we're all just focused on the money, then it ain't going to work. Anyway, this is your episode. So tonight, we are going to connect the dots between engagement and income, because you need one to get the other. Don't focus on the income, focus on being there, turning up the engagement, everything else. Because here's the truth, your audience isn't just listening to you, they're ready to connect, support, and yes, buy from you. Know me, like me, trust me, all of those nice, simple things, but you've got to show up live to be able to unlock that. Joining me again for episode 3, lighting up our studio with energy and evolution and vivaciousness, is Christina Vidovich from the United States, our podcasting powerhouse queen turned live stream learner, and now she is one step closer to launching her own live. We'll talk to Christina in just a minute, but keep it here for the next 30 minutes because it is Tuesday and it's your weekly roundup, obviously, of tips, tricks, and thoughts in the live streaming and digital engagement arenas. It's time for the Big Joe Show, and as we all know, there ain't no show like a Big Joe Show. Keep it here. Honestly, I am genuinely more excited than a seagull with a stolen chip tonight. Christina Vidovich, good evening to you. How are you? Or good afternoon to you, because it's 3 p.m. just gone in Eastern time where you are. How are you, missus?
Fantastic. I am so excited to be here for show number 3, Joe, and all the insights you're about to share with me today.
Well, everybody, I'm going to tell everybody right now, because next week, guess who is running the show? Your good self. So it's going to be you. So Christine will actually be hosting next week, and I'll just be here looking whatever this is and answering any questions as she wants. But she'll be all over the show next week, which is absolutely brilliant. Can't believe it's week 3 already. How are you feeling? What sort of shifted for you since the last time, especially as we're talking about the engagement side? I mean, you are pretty maxed out in all your areas, but where's your head at looking at part of that transition already?
Yeah, it's so exciting because honestly, the conversations I'm seeing out there by my other podcaster friends here in the US is about live streaming and how to take their podcast into that level and be able to do all the things that we've been talking about: engagement, community, taking pieces and repurposing for others. So I think we're right on track.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're discussing this today with Susie Mann in Australia. The next 12 months and live streaming is just going to, and especially on YouTube and to your own website as well, is just, if people aren't involved with it now, if people aren't involved in YouTube channels, starting fresh now, if they're not involved in live streaming as part of that as well, and that real-time engagement, and if they're not looking longer term to making a 24/7 TV channel through YouTube and other aspects as well, and if you're not going to your own website, then you're really, really losing out on that. But let's ground this again. Excuse me. We go over things on each of the shows, on each of this 4-part series every single month. Nothing really. I don't want to overcomplicate things, Christina. You know, I want things to be nice and simple. And that's why at the beginning, whilst this is about monetization, you know, you've got to turn up first, haven't you? You've got to be engaged. I mean, you are really the queen of building that engagement, especially with your ladies groups, because you have a link to them that attracts them in. What is engagement for you? Is that the biggest focus, and you know the money will come, or how do you view things?
Absolutely. I 100% am about building community, and not just community as a, oh, check them off the box, I answered their question, but hey, do you want to take a call with me? Let's find out who you are, what are you looking for, and how can I help provide my services for you in a podcast? So I think that's real important in that engagement, because just like we spoke about last week, the loyalty piece.
Yeah, massively so. I mean, podcasting builds that loyalty and trust. Live streaming builds that momentum. And when you combine the two, because that's really where the monetization gets real. It's like when I set up Livestream Solutions, Livestream Academy, the whole ethos was to elevate your brand and to build thriving, engaged communities. And to do those two things, because if you do those two things, the brand naturally grows, both the individual and the corporate brand, and the thriving, engaged community grows from that. And then they overlap back again to that whole know me, like me, trust me, and people then buy from you because they know you, like you, and trust you. You built that.
Yeah, that's community.
It is indeed. Now, one of the things that, you know, we always find is that people don't just support creators they like; they support creators that they feel engaged with. Touch just then on your ladies. Just remind us again. I make no apologies for this, because if I was in the States, I'd be going, even though I'm not a lady, clearly. But tell us about your event that you're doing in DC in October, is it?
October of 25, 10, 11, and 12, I will be holding the Women Getting Visible show and conference to offer a platform for some ladies to step up on the stage who have built communities, who have messages that they want to share, and for other women who are looking to gain community and get visible with other women.
Yeah, superb. And what we'll do, if that's okay, is we'll stick the link up, I think, to that to next week as well, because I think that's really important, because we're talking about they support creators support them, so you've got to go in both ways massively.
Yeah, and that's what I love, is not just building a platform here on the internet, but to actually be able to bring people in person together. That's the next wonderful key.
Cool. Let's get real for a sec then, shall we? What's your biggest concern about going live and trying to get your audience to engage in real time? What's that biggest concern for you?
Sure. The two that come to mind right away are, one, making sure that in everybody's busy schedules that they have time to show up during the live stream and be there. And two, the other fear is over engagement. What if there's too many questions, and trying to follow up with everybody's ideas while trying to keep on topic?
Yeah. I had a show. When did we do the special? We did the founder special in January with the 3 founders of OneStream Live, and we're just inundated. And it wasn't just because it was the founders special for the 7th birthday of OneStream Live. It was because of the 3 guys themselves, all different characters, 3 friends, 3 engineers, 10, entrepreneurs. But we were just absolutely inundated. And it's like, which bit do I hit first? And it was one of those occasions when it was something I really wanted to do. It was one-off special in January. But I also wanted to be behind the scenes, because there was so much stuff coming through that we really sort of scratched the surface. But sometimes you roll with that, because this is where building that relationship, Christina, with people means you go back after the show and you thank people. Like, I spent a lot of time on Sunday evening. We restreamed the show again, and an awful lot of views and engagement from that. And it's important that you go back and do that. So it's not just a one-off, fire and forget. But the 2 things that you brought up are common. You don't you don't necessarily need loads of people to start making money. We talked off camera before we came on. YouTube now, the algorithm is changing, and the days of where people were impressed that somebody had 50,000 or 10,000 or whatever the case may be, it doesn't necessarily work that way to have it monetized now. My new project with Susie Manley in Australia, the Insight Exchange, will go live at the end of August. That's our date now. So it's just been built, and we've got we found a very, very good, Isabella, a very, very good podcast YouTube channel manager who will get that to monetization, so that we can focus on where we are. And that's what I'd say to people. Close your eyes and visualize where you're going to be 2 years down the line, and then build it back from there. We're investing a little bit of money into Isabella because she's so creative. She's so very good as a YouTube channel manager. And that's part of the thing, because that money, her role, it's in her interest to get us monetized as soon as we can. So working with somebody like that, I suppose it's like us, Christy, isn't it, coming together? We want to achieve something together because we know that the monetization of that will come.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a business. In any business, it's 2 years out before you can really say, okay, here we are, and let's cash the first check.
Yeah, very much so. So how does engagement lead into monetization? So you've got your comments that will come in, excuse me, sometimes during, sometimes after the show, that you need to make sure that you go back to. And those comments is a connection with people. Now, some people, it may be the only bit of engagement they get in their life. I often say this, that in a more connected world, we are more disconnected than we've ever been. So for people, it's that whole MMFI, make me feel important. Somebody puts a comment up, then we show that online. You've done that engagement thing with people. Last week we had somebody who was on YouTube, if you remember, and we reached out to them as well to help try and get them started. So that comment equals a connection, and people see that the shout out, I suppose, it makes them feel valued. From when you're doing your podcast video, how do you vie with that? Because it's not real time, but you're still getting comments coming in at some point. And how do you find best to deal with that?
It's interesting to ask that question, because they're often in the comments that do come later, or the emails even that I'll get. And absolutely taking the time to engage, thank you for making that comment, and really embracing what was the statement they're specifically asking for, because that'll tell you a lot about what they're looking for in your content.
Yeah, very much so. I think when we do simple call to action, so asking people to clearly, what is it you want? Do you want to understand more? Well, here how next week I'll have the link to the to the live streaming visibility sheet that people can download from us, fill it in, then come back to us, and that starts the process for them. But your community, so you're doing all of these things to begin with, and then over time you're building that, thriving, engaged community. That then becomes monetization. Private membership groups, that is so much part of the future. Residual income, and sometimes we shy away from talking about money. And well, you build a group to make some money out of people. You're not making money out of people. You're giving them a value and a service. I mean, look at what you're doing in October with helping other ladies become visible. Well, that's a business. It's a transactional thing, but you're building a friendship. I find that people don't mind paying a little bit of money to get quality content, it's more than the content, Christina, though, isn't it? It's that engagement, it's that relationship you're building with people.
Absolutely, because, it's the exchange of knowledge. You've spent time learning things and you're sharing them with others. So yes, you have your gift of teaching someone. And that is what is the value, as well as the connection. Because we love a good teacher, don't we?
we do, and I think that you know, some of the biggest fans that I see, I've got fans, wow, with me. No, but some of the biggest fans I've got are some of my biggest friends who I didn't know before I started doing live streaming the rugby shows, for example. And I often talk about David Topping in Ulster now, who we took from a viewer to being a guest, co-host, host. He's now a trained producer and director. We sat down with him the other day. We're just writing some sponsorships up because there's people interested because they like him. They like what they talk about, you know, and it's that type of thing. And that's taken a couple of years to build, you know, from that. And they've got sort of, you know, supporters, super fans, who will everything from buying a coffee through to joining a private members group because they feel part of, especially for a sports team, you know, it's part of that community. In the States, obviously, I worked closely for a couple of seasons with the New England Free Jacks. And they are the CEO, top, absolutely brilliant guy, the whole team, you know, everything from the administrators, the owners, down to the players, the supporters. They have this community where if you could bottle what the New England Free Jacks rugby team do, and obviously they've just won the Major League Rugby title three times back to back, you know, and part of that, I think, comes from that engagement and that community they build. I wish I could build something like they have specifically, but this is what we're trying to do with some of the things now. That's what you're doing with Women Become Invisible.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just look at even my other podcasts where my next season is complete. And there's some wonderful authors that I have in this season. And well, the live streaming gives us the opportunity to say, hey, this book just came out last month versus waiting 6 months from now, 4 months from now to say, oh, this book came out. Live streaming absolutely gives us an opportunity to push our guests even further.
Yeah, superb. Interestingly, I think somebody's been reading my mind over the last 24 hours because here we go. We've got a message just come in from the Global Merchant Limited. Is it possible to live stream 24/7 with an AI agent? And if so, links, info on how to. Send me a PM. In fact, what I'll do is I will come back to you after this because next month, as it happens, we are doing a 4-part series on AI and how that works with live streaming. And I've picked that to do for next month through OneStream Live because of this. Because we're now working on a plan to build a 24/7 YouTube channel, which over the next couple of years we'll be able to add other shows on it, be able to sponsors on it. The answer is yes with an AI agent. But what I'd say to you do is you need to build this slowly and properly with the foundations. And whilst AI is massively changing, it doesn't take away. All it does is it supplements, it saves you time. But the OneStream Live 24/7 capability is superb. And I think that we rely too much on AI, Christina, for me at the moment, and this is why we're doing it for myself and Susie Malley, hosting that next month. So, but I will come back to you, the Global Merchant Limited, afterwards, and we'll sort of touch base and get in touch and run you through some things. But it is a massive change. Again, I am hoping he'll be watching tonight and going, oh, Jesus, the team I'm talking about, but the CEO of OneStream Live, Hannah Naim, is just, when I spoke to him back in February about AI and where it was going, do you know, there's not many people that leave me dumbfounded, as we all know, because I never have nothing to say, but I was just in awe of what the man's vision and what he's doing. So that's our next month. So I'll come back to you as soon as we can on this. But again, please reach out to me, Joe Shepherd, on LinkedIn as well. Let's connect and get those things going. But brilliant question. And couldn't thank you, so you're welcome. So there we
series.
But isn't it interesting that everybody is looking now where we can go. And what you said before really resonated, Christina, with a lot of the ladies that you're talking to now and looking at that live streaming journey. AI will help us, but it doesn't take away that personal thing. And I think that's the difference. Now, I know there are some very, very good AI tools out there like HeyGen and stuff like that, where you can do your own AI avatar. Do you know what? It's bad enough this face radio. I wouldn't want to sort of smarten this up a little bit with an AI. I seriously wouldn't. I think if you're going to do a podcast video, or if you're going to do a video type, it's like the whole, what was that? Oh, you'd be far too young for this. There's a bloke, an American cartoon thing called Max Headroom.
Oh,
do you remember that?
Yes, yes. Wow.
Just superb. It was like light years ahead. But it's that type of thing now with an AI agent type avatar that you can do. But I think the personal thing is really what makes us as live streamers good. And then we can repurpose that. I think that's a better way of doing it now.
Yeah. And I actually heard from one of the top podcasters that some of the AI videos are going to be looked at again when they're put on platforms like YouTube, because they are starting to overcrowd. And yeah, that was some insider news. Somebody got a leaked letter.
Brilliant. Thanks for that. Because I think if you always do the fundamentals, and the fundamentals is being that human connection, then, everybody's looking for a quick win. I'm not saying our friend is, but everybody's looking for a quick win, because it's like, how does AI fit into live streaming now? I'll tell you one of the things, going off topic here a little bit, but in 5 years' time, I'd say about 5 years' time, this show, which we know goes out to 50 odd platforms, it can go out to websites, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, blah, 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 all of those. Not only will it go out to all those different regions and through the different platforms, I think in the next 5 years, AI is advancing that fast. When I'm talking now, it will go out into different languages automatically. I think that's where AI is going. I don't want to get ahead of myself next month, because there's a whole pile of things that I want to share next month myself to do. But that's what's going to happen. It's going to go out, my voice in English, but it's going to go out and automatically translated, simultaneously translated, as well as it's being simultaneously multicasted out there. Messages will come in different language, but will come in on our integrated chat into the language I can understand. I will reply back to it if needs be, or whatever I say, and it will go back out in that language. That, I think, is an exciting point. I'm sorry for dragging us up, but our friend here is just, this is the whole thing, isn't it, about building that relationship. I agree, personal is best. The only reason we want an AI is to promote IA creation software, so it's for marketing. Get it? Brilliant. Yeah, we can have a chat about that. So, 5 engagement actions that drive real returns. Yeah, very quickly. What did I do when I put the comments up? I said the individual or the company's name twice, in fact. And we do that. It's like, hey, Christina, how you doing? It feels personal, doesn't it? People stick around. I've told that person that I'm going to go back to them. I don't know who they are, but I'm going to go back to them afterwards. And just for any reason, because it's technology, if for any reason, whatever, find me, Joe Shepherd on LinkedIn, or Joe Shep on Facebook, because there's always a way that we can go back. So, hey, Christina, welcome. It feels personal. People stick around because they feel that actually you build that relationship there with them. Again, you can do things like dropping a link in next week. I will put the link in for people to download the live streaming visibility kit that they can then build their own show with as well. Comment magnets is always a good one. What's your number one struggle right now? I asked you some things before. Do you have a favorite one, Christina, that you use when you're podcasting for a comment that that you share with people, like, what's your number one struggle right now? How can I help you? Anything like that. Do you have a favorite one, or do you just have loads because you're really good at it?
No, I think it's real for me. It's real individual. I actually, take the time to be as individual as I can with everyone because I think that's important. There are those bots that can just go in and say the thank you and move on. But yeah, I like the personal engagement, Joe.
Oh, she's so subtle. She's beyond belief, brilliantly. And segmenting, because me done was segmenting your show like we tend to do. Although we did go off topic a little bit, but it's good because it's real and it's authentic. So this again is where OneStream Live as an organization in the studio makes it easy for me. Showing the comments on screen, adding the banners. I mean, we've got the show ticker running along the bottom there, and we can put at different sizes. We've got banners up. Here we go. There's a banner up until the end of the end of July. There we go. If you use some at 30, you're 30% off any plans for a couple of months just to get people started as well, which is cool. So you can put the banner up there as well, which I really like, is cool. Putting sponsor clips, so you've got media in, so hit like the Big Joe show, but you can have a sponsor one. Here we go. Here's there we go. That's a brilliant segue into me promoting the Modernised Rugby Show, 8 p.m. on Nice Lanes. But imagine that if you've got a 10-second or a 30-second promo as a sponsor that you can put in. You can have, like, you've got OneStream Live and I've got Livestream Solutions logos in the top right and left-hand corner, depending on which way you're looking. All of those things are available. And that's why I bloody well love OneStream Live so much, because all of these things can be done by one person in the studio. You can put your affiliate link, you can put this link, you can put the banner up, etc. Because it isn't techie. It's built for non-techie creators like you, like us. So you're very clever. You're very good at playing with all of this stuff, whereas I have to work really, really hard at it. But is this something that really, really has attracted you, Jordan, the first couple of weeks, the amount of stuff we can do?
Oh, absolutely. I love the fact that we can change scenes, we can do the tickers, and it really engages our viewers as well. Again, somebody who's on as an interview who has something that they want to offer, boom, we can put it up.
Yeah, absolutely. So to finish off with, what I want to do is I want you, better man, you're running next week's show. I want you to invite viewers to help shape potentially a live stream by dropping a topic suggestion. Think of it as a mini focus group, I suppose, so now and those people watching afterwards. Because knowing what your audience wants also, that's monetization gold, because what they're looking for. So here we go. Here's another way of doing it. So do you have something that you want to ask the audience, or do you have an idea for your show yet? Tell us what's coming up.
Ooh, hello, my friends. And I want to invite you in to drop a note and tell me, what would you like the next live stream to be about? And we will do it. Me and Big Joe will bring it here for you.
You see, excuse me, and that's absolutely fab, because that's another thing we can do. Christina was just saying, we can change the studio around. So that piece ahead there, people have different titles for them, but can repurpose that now as a simple idea. And on the episode 1, in fact, we did a number of things where we were doing those singular pieces for you that we could then repurpose them as well. So there we go. That's it. That's the simple chain. Comment, connection, community, building community. The community pays you because they're getting quality content. They're getting insider secrets. You're building that thriving, engaged community within it. And for a company, for a business, for an organization, for a solopreneur, you're elevating your brand through live streaming. Elevate your brand, build a thriving, engaged community. The two go together. And it has commerce, with a heartbeat. And I think that's the difference. Sometimes we if you're not driven by money, like I'm not particularly, and I know you're not, you're hugely successful, but it's more about the amount of people you connect to.
Absolutely. I love meeting people around the world 24/7. If that's what I could do, paid or unpaid, that's what I want to do.
Absolutely brilliant. So here's my final challenge for you this week. Thank you to our guests. Any questions come up later, I will follow those through like we always do. If you have anything that you want to know, if you want a free 30-minute look around the studio, then get hold of OneStream.live, get hold of myself and my team at Livestream Solutions, get hold of Christina if it's through Christina that you're watching here today, and we'll arrange a 30-minute free session to show you around the studio and what can be done. So my message to you this week, your call to action, if you like, is go live. You know, you don't have to do it alone. We're here to help you. You know, use one of the engagement techniques we shared today, any of the stuff that we share on all of our shows. And remember, you know, if you want to get your free copy of the visibility commitment template, which we'll be sticking out next week, then send us an email. Send us to you know any of the platforms that we are on, and like I say, the free 30-minute look-see session is there for you as well. Christina, that's it. Your key takeaway from this week?
Well, build a community and the rest will follow.
Absolutely. Well, we look final. There we go. Here we go. That company's gonna love it. We are definitely signing up for OneStream. I'm from Africa, and it will be for education purposes. So for me to elevate us to the next level. Great. I look forward to chatting with you. And my job is done. I'll get me coat. I'm out of the building, and I'll be in touch with you as soon as the show finishes. And Christina, have a fantastic week. We look forward. Yeah, I think there are so many bloody things going on here that I forget sometimes that we have got all of the reactions as well. I better go, otherwise it'll be here 40 minutes and then I will be in trouble. Everybody. Listen, thank you, Christina Vidovich from the USA, podcasting queen, international speaker, connector of people, and we look forward to seeing you hosting episode 4 next Tuesday, 8 p.m. UK and Ireland, 3 p.m. Eastern time.
And there's no show like the Big Joe Show.
See you all next week. Take care. Thanks, Christina.
Did you know that over 80% of internet traffic is video content? So if your brand isn't using video marketing, you're already falling behind. Short-form videos are ruling social media. Live streaming is driving real-time engagement. AI-powered video personalization